today. But I am particularly disappointed that there are no government members here today. It's no wonder that this petition has been signed by over 632,000 petitioners. The number is going up as we speak. I understand by about 1,000 signatures per hour. The petition is still open. And the numbers make this one of the most popular petitions considered by the Petitions Committee to date. And as chair, I'm pleased to have this opportunity to speak on the petitioner's behalf and indeed speak for pretty much anyone who I've spoken to in the last few days, weeks and months about the state of the country. The petition is very clear in its demand. It states, call an immediate general election to end the chaos of the current government so that the people can decide who should lead us through the unprecedented crises threatening the UK. And I want to pay tribute to Darren Charlesworth, who set up this petition. And this is not about party politics. I know many who will have signed this petition will have voted Conservative at the last election and may do so again. What nobody voted for was this chaos, caused by a lack of clear mandate that any government would need to have the authority to face up to the challenges that we have lying ahead. MPs owe a duty to the public to govern in the national interest, and this petition is calling on the government to do the right thing and give people their say.
There is a pact with the British people, arisen from hundreds of years of history, that parties share their manifesto, what they will do, and on the basis of that manifesto, parties are chosen or elected, and from the party with the biggest number, the Prime Minister is chosen to deliver that manifesto mandate. Because that mandate is being broken with every statement.
I now call Brendan Clark-Smith to respond to the debate on behalf of the government.
For Newcastle North for bringing this debate here today for us to discuss. Of course, the nation and the world faces the challenges of not just Vladimir Putin's war in Ukraine, but also of recovering from the COVID-19 pandemic. And Putin's war has caused a global economic crisis with interest rates rising around the world. And I'm sure nobody would like a general election in this country more than Vladimir Putin. UK, of course, as has been mentioned by my honourable friend from Midlothian, is a parliamentary democracy and not a presidential system. And Prime Ministers hold their position by virtue of their ability to command the confidence of the House of Commons. A change in the leader of a governing party does not trigger a general election, is one that is well established, of course. There's been precedent from both Labour and Conservatives in the past with Prime Ministers. The member for Uxbridge in South Ruislip, the member for Maidenhead, Gordon Brown, John Major, 5 of the last 7 Prime Ministers, in fact. Government holds office by virtue of its ability to command that confidence in the House of Commons. And the government is entitled to assume it has the confidence of the House unless and until it is shown to be otherwise. That can only be demonstrated unambiguously by a means of formal confidence vote, and therefore this government, under the new Prime Minister, continues to command the confidence of the Commons. Once again, the Prime Minister can call a general election at any time of her choosing by requesting a dissolution of Parliament from the Sovereign, which, if accepted, leads to a general election. Growth requires stability, and that is what we are offering. We need to move forward and deliver for the British people. A general election risks sending us back to square one by letting the anti-growth coalition into power. And we will do whatever it takes to get through the storm and emerge a stronger and better nation. Thank you, Mr. Mundell.
Thank you, and I'm going to now call Catherine McKinnell to wind up the debate, and you have approximately 1 hour 40 minutes.
And I do thank the Minister for his reply. He's clearly on a difficult ticket today. And I was struck in his response how powerfully he set out the case for a general election. Indeed, we are in unprecedented times. Indeed, it was an interesting lesson in history, but all of that history will tell him and us that a general election is the only way to get us out of this current crisis. And nothing he will have said today will have persuaded anybody watching this debate otherwise. It is disappointing that despite the member at the front bench being present here today, that not a single member of the governing party came here today to either speak for a general election or indeed to speak against it. Nobody was here to represent the petitioners in their constituencies that wanted this matter discussed. And I'll leave it to the 632,000 and growing number of people who've signed this petition from every part of the UK to speculate why that might be. And the events in the chamber that we're missing because we're here, but hearing reports, they do very much underline the shambles currently at the heart of government. The leader of the House had to reassure the chamber that the Prime Minister wasn't hiding under a desk really does show how low the bar has become. And I guess we should just be grateful that she's not hiding in a fridge. That the Prime Minister then turned up, but just in time not to answer any questions, and left before questions then began again to the Chancellor, shows how weak and undermined her position is. And as the Leader of Opposition said very clearly, she is in office, but not in power. The Parliamentary Secretary to the Cabinet Office was unable to answer how a government without a mandate and without authority will be able to get any of its agenda through Parliament. And the Minister made great play of the importance of having the confidence of MPs in Parliament, and that has not been properly tested, but from what we can see, there is a lot of confidence lacking within the current governing party, and that is degrading for our democracy and unacceptable for the people that we are here to serve. Because our country faces serious crises. We are living through a cost of living crisis, an energy crisis, a climate crisis, and now an economic crisis that is entirely of the government's own making, no matter what they say. So, Chair, the current situation is untenable. The Prime Minister's authority has disappeared. This country cannot function to its greatest potential without a functioning government. The only anti-growth coalition at the moment is a government that's unwilling to go to the public and ask them for a mandate to deliver what it believes. And I think the time has come, and I think increasingly government members need to recognise that we're here to serve the public. The public can decide. They can vote to decide to put this government back in, or they can choose something different. But fundamentally, that should be a choice for the people in this country and not for us in this room.
The question is that this House has considered e-petition 619781 relating to an early general election. As many as of that opinion say aye, of the contrary no. I think the ayes have it, the ayes have it. Order, order, the sitting stands adjourned.